Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
Folks, welcome to Trainwreck tonight. 3:29. The Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl champions again. Buffalo is miserable. We're wondering if we're ever going to get one with Josh Allen. We're bringing on some special guests today. We are going to have Lucas and Tom from the Buffalo Wing Coalition. We're going to be talking the Super Bowl. We're going to be talking their tier rankings that they released this past weekend. We'll be talking the Nickelodeon broadcast of the Super Bowl as well. And then we will also be talking with Abigail Nashwinter of Bleached by Abigail Lee, very successful local company. She was in Vegas for all the festivities and Super Bowl week. So we'll talk to her about all that's going on there. But with that said, here we go. You don't stop, you don't stop.
Follow me into the great unknown, where pink flamingos grow. Diet soda flows, and what you take magically regenerates. On supermarket shelves, the ovens clean themselves. You don't pay the tab till the last drop. So we all ride for nothing, 'cause this train never stops. We make a good team, me and you, we do. You can scratch my back, and I'll scratch my back too. And everyone's welcome at the party, yeah. People, more is more. Are we all on board? You don't pay the tab till the last drop. So we all ride for nothing, 'cause this train never stops.
Alrighty, folks. Trainwreck tonight, 3:29, brought to you by Outlet Liquor, the place to buy a case after the Super Bowl, before the Super Bowl, anytime all year. George Urban Boulevard in Depew. Outlet Liquor, the place to buy a case. Speaking of decisions, speaking of getting it done, that's something our next crew does. Let's get them in here. You know him based on our previous experiences with dinner at Danger Zone and all kinds of other awesome escapades. Tommy Seifert, and we got making his Trainwreck tonight debut, Luke Nuttall. I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing the name here right.
Good to go, my friend. Nuttall.
All right. Good to go. No, very nice. Thanks. Appreciate you boys coming on. Hate to do it, but unfortunately we are in the middle of a Chiefs dynasty now, I think.
I don't want to talk about it. Do you want to talk?
I don't really want to talk about it. It just feels like you kind of got it. Boring game in the first half. Nickelodeon broadcast was great. I mean, you just knew the Chiefs were inevitable in that game, unfortunately.
You could easily see it coming. And I just texted my other group. I was like, how do we go from Tom Brady straight to Patrick Mahomes? Like, what are we doing here?
Seriously. I mean, at this point in their career, they're basically equal, 27, 28 years old. They got, 3 championships each. And unfortunately, there's no slowing down for the Chiefs dynasty now with these 3 titles. Has it kind of changed your guys' perspective? Because I'm assuming we're all Bills fans in here. Don't want to speak for everyone, but has it changed your perspective on, as a Bills fan, because I know when the Chiefs beat us in the AFC Championship in 2020, my thinking was, they got one ahead of us, but the Bills will be able to get one back. Like the Josh Allen will come back. It'll still be Allen and Mahomes for the next 10 years. Then you had Burrow beat us a couple of years back. Now Mahomes has 3. Now my perspective on that has shifted a little bit. I feel like I'm just begging for one, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, these games aren't blowouts. They're so close. They're right there. Obviously, it really comes down to a few minor tweaks and just having the right pieces of the puzzle, with having enough people around Josh Allen to actually do something. The Buffalo Bills, they're right there. There's nothing that needs to be majorly fixed with this team. So it's a fun ride every single time. I don't think we're way out of the picture at all. It's just, it's going to be another close year next year as well.
Tommy, any thoughts? Would you in favor of an overhaul?
Pretty much summed it up there, but I don't think we need an overhaul. No, but we do need maybe to get rid of some key pieces on the edge that are taking up a lot of our cap. That only made 3 tackles last year. Not naming any names, but I think we all know who he is. And I think that clears up a lot of space. And I think you just draft receiver. Just go after receiver. Be offensive minded for once. I don't care about the defense. Just go up and score 50 points a game.
You got to be risky. You got to take chances. Yeah, on this draft, I think you have to go offense, no doubt about it. I want to mortgage the farm for Maserati Marv. I mean, what are we waiting around for? I get getting multiple weapons, but if you can get Josh Allen a dependable weapon next year, I feel like that could be worth everything in its weight in gold for sure. Speaking of being risky and taking chances, just talking about the Super Bowl broadcast. Did you guys tune into this Nickelodeon footage at all?
I did not.
I scrolled past it on my way to the real broadcast. I thought about it for a second, but no, aside from all, the Swift stuff going on, the Kelsey stuff going on, I'm like, I don't need any more animation. I just want to watch football. And that's what. So.
All right. Very fair. Last but not least on the Super Bowl here, Usher performance thoughts?
I thought it was great. He brought out all the stops, didn't he? I thought it was really good, actually.
Well, let's put it this way. Dude took his shirt off. And my wife goes, "Oh," as I was making a tray of pretzels in the kitchen. So didn't make me feel very good about my time.
I was going to say, did you think that the ooh was originally for your tray of pretzels?
I mean, it could have been, but then I looked and I saw how good Usher looked on TV at that moment, and I knew there was a slim chance. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Very fair. Very fair. Speaking of fair, we had a fair amount of action over on the Buffalo Wing Coalition Instagram. Make sure you're following them over there, Buffalo Wing Coalition. Now, we were talking in the pre-show. What we got, 5 to 6, main characters in the coalition here?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So the page was created back in 2017 by my brother, Nick. We grew up going to Barbell, as kids. We would go to Barbell when it was Tuesdays, buy 10, get 10 free wings. You don't see that anymore, especially it being more of a tourist attraction now. That initially sparked our interest in, hey, let's go try to find good wings elsewhere. So we did a post back in 2017 and then kind of figured, hey, we like to do this as a hobby anyway. Cold beer, hot wings, support local businesses. And we've just kind of been documenting our travels ever since. So.
Okay, I love that. So you guys started 2017. I believe we first crossed paths at the Wing Festival in 2018, I want to say, if that sounds right. I think I got a commemorative shirt that day. So that was pretty early on in the BWC adventures.
Yeah, I'd say so. And I remember even at that point going to Wingfest, we're like, hey, we're built for this. We're ready for this. And then, just all the other adventures we've had the past couple of years leading, past that. Wingfest is Wingfest. We call it Sauce Fest. You're not going to get a good quality wing.
That is very fair.
You can try different sauces from across the place. So a lot of people don't even know it's the same chicken wing that goes to every single person. Like, oh, this guy, his wing quality was really great.
Yeah. Now they all get delivered from the same person.
That is an interesting little tidbit. I feel that a lot of people don't know. Obviously, I get that behind the scenes, but you forget that every year for sure that it is the same quality wings. It's literally just Sauce Fest. And then obviously we got Tommy here. And then this past weekend, or it looked like maybe Friday, we had the tiers, the Buffalo Wing Coalition Chicken Wing Pyramid. So talk to me. How long has this been in the work? Is this kind of like an ongoing thing? Are they going to be added to? What's the idea with this going forward before we get into the nitty gritty of it?
Yeah, I mean, this is an ever-growing pyramid here, and this is kind of an idea that I've had in my head probably for the past 2 years or so. Maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, 3 of us came out with our top 15, and we posted that in a picture, and it was insanely hard to actually pick a top 15 places for wings in Buffalo. So instead of me swapping out, oh, this is 9, this is 12, this is 7, that's incredibly hard to do with the number of good quality restaurants you have here in Buffalo. So we started organizing them into tiers, which is, I think, a little bit more feasible for people to at least grasp, because you could go within any of these tiers and you could swap 6 out for 12 or 13 out for 17 on, opinion and preference. So this has been in the works for about 2 or 3 years now, but we're looking to add to it and build to it, and we're already taking suggestions for it. Our go-to list for spots right now is probably pretty close to 75, 80 spots. So if you look at us and think we've probably had chicken wings at every place in Buffalo, it's near impossible to do. And I'd love to meet the person who actually has, because it's probably not going to happen. Places are always opening and closing, and we're just trying to grow the pyramid as much as possible. And like it says in our bio, shed some light on Buffalo's darkest taverns.
And also ranch is for salads. Don't forget that as well. But you're talking about 80 spots. So you're saying the BWC recommends 80 spots around Western New York then with that list, or the list is kind of like the place you've assessed, you've graded?
I think 80 we have left to go view of suggestions of people.
That's all the spots that,
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. Because I'm looking at the number on this. I'm like, wait, is this the top 80 here? Okay. So with that said, if we were looking at a grading scale, like an honorable mention, like on a scale of 0 to 100, that's how I grade my wings or whatever. So what would an honorable mention be on like a number scale, I guess, before 70s? I start getting into the 70s?
I would say 70s, Luke, right? 60s, 70s.
If you're even on this pyramid, it means you have great wings. So
yeah,
we've had a couple of local restaurants reach out to us and be like, we really think we're in the next tier. Well, do yourself a favor. Look at the places in the next tier above you and holy crap, they have amazing wings too. So honestly, some of my even personal favorites are in the third tier, but we rank it on, a system of, overall performance, I guess. Blue cheese comes into factor.
That's what I want to know. So when we're doing these tiers, is this everyone in the Buffalo Wing Coalition gets a vote? Then it's weighed evenly? Are there different, weights to votes? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, I mean, I'll let you chip in here, Tom, because I know,
Yeah. So I mean,
that you'd like to move down, and
Yeah, I mean, we definitely argue about it nonstop, especially the top two categories.
Yeah.
You can't have so many elite, but you can have a lot of heavy hitters. And the 2 and 3 categories, you can switch pretty much intertwined with each other. But it's definitely a discussion we have. I went to a place this weekend, and I was like, wow, these are really good. I think they're heavy hitters. So Luke actually ended up going the next day, and he's like, I don't think they're heavy hitters for me. But we'll have to get the whole group's vote eventually to see where they fall on the pyramid.
Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. And I'm just looking at this. So I had a couple of places I targeted. I was looking at that I wanted to call you guys out about, but now why don't I see them? Are they? Hold on. Are they missed at the bottom here? Okay, there we go.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, now we can hold you guys accountable. So everyone knows here at Tracers, I do wing reviews. I just literally go once. I think you guys build up a little bit more of like you guys clearly do multiple reviews. Within your coalition. I'm looking at these Buteras. I got Buteras ranked as an 85 on my side. I think I had him as an 82 for myself personally. And I had him way above, for example, let's see, 40 Thieves, Union Pub. See, Union Pub, that's now, is that the new ownership Union Pub or the old ownership?
That's the new ownership, because
okay.
Interchangeable with Transit Music Lounge, and
yes. Okay, so that's a good point.
Go back
because we went to Union Pub. That was the second one that we ever reviewed, because we did it across the street from the ballpark. We were all excited, and this was under old ownership. They literally gave us green chicken wings. Now, again, I respect,
I watched that one. Yep.
Yes. So they were terrible. Now, ironically, a couple of months later, I got a message from this guy, this gentleman, and he says he owns the Transit Music Lounge, and he just took over Union Pub, and they got to check him out. So we have him on our first for redemption list. Definitely. I'm looking at these Casey's, maybe a little bit low, in my opinion. I'm going to go on which ones I think are low. Casey's. Mike and Pops. Everyone says Mike and Pops is good, but I guess this is why it throws me off. You're saying these are good, right? What are some ones that are below honorable mention? That's what I want to get into, because this list was getting people in a tizzy, and I think if they were assessing it with that perspective that these are all really good wings, it might change their opinion. Yeah,
I mean, like I said before, the fact that they're even on this pyramid that we even into consideration means it's an incredible wing. So if there's a place that's not on here, it's one of two things. We either haven't got to it yet, which some people are like, okay, you really got to get here and make this pyramid more accurate, or we just weren't as impressed to even go back for like a trip number 2. So yeah, like the fact that it's even on there is a step in the right direction.
I think I like the controversy word you use. That's the goal of this, right? You want people talking about it.
You guys are stirring it up over there.
Yeah,
I see the
absolutely.
comments. People are going at each other's throats over whether they're a player or they're a contender.
Yeah, especially people that live like next to a bar and like their local bar. Even if we have them at the very bottom, to them it's like it should be elite, right? That's the best part about this. People have their own opinions and their own favorite places, but to people that have had wings at over 100 spots, I think instead of just like 5 to 10 places, you definitely have a different perspective of a good wing.
100%. I agree. And I think, again, there's a lot on this list that is right, for sure, which I agree with. I think Blackthorn's well represented as a contender. They could even be a heavy hitter on their best day. Malwitz Lanes I haven't been to, and that's one of the few that's like up there and, that everyone's kind of, swears by. I want to get out there to Grand Island for sure. I want to talk to you guys real quick about a couple of. First off, I applaud Duffs. Clearly that's the ultimate test that you guys are wing connoisseurs, because I think the average person kind of throws, Duffs in with Anchor Bar, or just kind of like they haven't been to Duffs in years and they think they suck. Duffs is a high quality wing. I think for some reason Duffs really does get bottled in there with Anchor Bar in the general opinion, and for some reason gets kind of negative. What do you think on the way that people view Duffs? Because I agree, you got them in the right spot. I think they are a top tier wing.
I'll start and then I'll let Tom go, because this is one of the
this is a little controversy in the BWC.
But listen, us millennial type folk, we grew up on this place, and just because they open a franchise or that one location might not be as good as the other one, it definitely happens. Barbell's kind of getting that way, where they're opening up multiple spots and you might not be the same as the original one. But imagine you're walking into Millersport, on the left hand side there's that little shelf, and you can see the first table that's got that half circular table, and you smell those wings just coming at you as soon as you step foot in that door. To me, like, that's my childhood. I remember that. It just instant salivation when you walk into that place. And when you think about Duffs in general, you can picture that wing. So yeah, I think you got to give credit where credit's due. I'd say for me, they probably bounce between a contender and a heavy hitter, just because it doesn't always have that perfect consistency to it. But I think the people who shit on Duffs a lot are the ones who just have a really good local spot that they live next to, like Tom was saying earlier. Like, I live next to, Blackthorn, therefore Duffs is awful. You can't come to that conclusion just because you're aware of 1 or 2 hole in the walls that are fantastic. You can't make the generalization about the place where the wing was really perfected.
And Tom, Duffs?
I'm a Duffs hater, to be honest with you. Okay. I'll be honest. If I'm trying to get wings, I'm telling you, Duffs is not even anywhere in my thought process of let's go to Duffs. And I live in the borderline. I live probably 3 miles from the one in Orchard Park, right? Which is, people say, is probably the best one they have. I'm telling you right now, though, if I'm going out for wings, I'm not going to be like, let's go to Duffs and get some wings. It's just one of those places for me that doesn't do it.
Okay. No, I totally get that. All right, and I just want to make one last point on this is my opinion strictly. This is the one major change I would make to the Buffalo Wing Coalition Chicken Wing Pyramid. I would swap. Now, again, I'm limited on one of these and extended on the other. I would swap Adolphs for Elmos. I would move Elmos into the elite, and I would move Adolphs. And I've had Adolphs a handful of times, 3 to 5. Good, very good. Great, elite, I don't know, and I think Elmos is elite. So what do you think there, Tom? You had a reaction.
I used to love Elmos. They used to be in like top 5, but I had 2 terrible experiences there, so I'm probably the wrong person to ask. But I've had Adolphs probably 7 times in the last 6 months, and every single time it's been phenomenal. Just the atmosphere there is great, right? Just a hole in the wall Irish for me, right? Phenomenal place, and the wings are always cooked perfect. And the sauce, sometimes they make different sauces, like depending on who's cooking, they're all good to me.
Interesting. Luke, what do you think on my potential swap there?
Honestly, I love the fact that you brought it up, because our top 3 were always Kelly's, 911, and Barbell. And when you go in there and you order hot, you're not just getting Frank's hot sauce barely thrown onto a wing. Their hot is what makes them incredible. Kelly's is my personal favorite. You can't deny it. 9/11, we all know about that. And Barbell has had their, recipe for years now. Adolph's and Elmo's, you could get a good hot at Adolph's. Elmo's, and you go in, you order just hot. That's what I did my first visit there. And I'm like, what is this? You know what I mean? I got 10 hot from Elmo's, and I was completely underwhelmed. And then I go back and I get the double dip Cajun honey, Cajun honey Dijon or whatever it is. And you're like, okay, that's why people love this place. So really it's a matter of, getting the right wings at the right places. So yeah, if we had to move one or two up to the elite category, Elmo's would be in there, and Sunny Reds is creeping in soon too as well. So
okay, all right. Well, hey, we'll have to keep an eye on the Buffalo Wing Coalition Chicken Wing Pyramid. Well, let's see if any numbers are moving on that front. Jens, thanks for joining me here on Trainwreck tonight, 329. Real quick though, new football year on the cusp. Obviously, 364 days till the Super Bowl. Bills 14-1. Number a little bit too big, Tommy?
Yeah, you got to parlay that in with a couple things, right? Like take a game and put the Bills in. Do a lot of futures. That's a very high number for us.
Can't go wrong with getting the Bills to 30-41. Make sure you're following these guys. Buffalo Wing Coalition. Their numbers are moving in the right direction as well. Thanks for joining me, boys. Have a good night now.
Thanks for having us.
All righty, folks. And at this time here on February 12th, 2024, we are excited to bring on first-time guest for Trainwreck tonight, Abigail Nashwinter. If you don't know her, odds are you've bought something from her in the last 5 to 6 years here, which Bleached by Abigail. Abigail, welcome to the program.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course, anytime, more than happy to. And of course, taking it back real quick, I know we've, crossed digital paths for years now, but we were able to finally cross, physical paths and work together and have some fun this past fall.
Yeah, so we finally got to meet at the Game Day Buffalo tailgates, which were so much fun this year. That was an absolute blast. I actually just got home from one of their tailgates in Vegas for the Super Bowl, so I'm a little tired right now, but it was unbelievable.
Seriously, thank you for coming on, AN, for after all that crazy week. So let's get into it. We'll talk the game real quick, but like I said, I want to talk your week in Vegas. So obviously we're waking up and we got another Chiefs Super Bowl. Does that kind of take the shine off what we're trying to do here? Or is it that point, where we're just like, we just want the Bills to win one?
It fuels our fire. It's going to fuel our fire more. It gets us more excited for next year because we're going to take down the Chiefs next year. I told everybody that I met this week, and I said, Josh is like fine wine. He only gets better with age. So we've got it going on for this upcoming year in New Orleans. We will be there.
Seriously, New Orleans. I was looking at last night. I'm like, Vegas would have been one of the few Super Bowls I probably would have gone to if the Bills were in there. I always say I would want to be in Buffalo if the Bills were in the Super Bowl. People are always like, I want to go, etc. Vegas is kind of like the perfect party spot to go. Would have been a perfect after party if the Bills had won, similar to the Chiefs, things like that. I want to talk to you, so I'm going to put your feet to the fire here. Who are you more annoyed by? Brittany Mahomes winning another Super Bowl, or the fact that Taylor Swift has basically been a football fan for like 4 to 5 months and already won a Super Bowl?
I can't stand Brittany Mahomes, number one. But obviously her husband is fantastic. I'm actually a little more agitated with the whole Taylor Swift coverage. I can't stand it. I am not a Swiftie. I know they're very far and few in between, but I'm not a Swiftie. So I'm not for the whole Taylor Swift. It was just, half the people who watch the Super Bowl, good for the Super Bowl, good for the NFL making all this money off of her. But I know people who are literally watching the Super Bowl just to watch the screen time for when Taylor would be shown.
Seriously. Well, and Ice Spice didn't know what she was getting into last night. She was caught in the crossfire for sure.
She had no idea what was going on.
It was amazing. She was great content last night. And speaking of content, so I know you did the grind. You got back here in time for the game. Did you get back like before the start of the game last night?
I got back like an hour ago into Buffalo. So I took
my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I took the red eye actually right after the game. It was crazy because so many people from like San Francisco for the 49ers, some people came in just for the day, literally just for the Super Bowl. And then it was just mobs straight to the airport. So I actually flew it on the red eye at 12 a.m. last night. And then I just got back in Buffalo at 10 a.m. this morning. Wow,
that must have been a somber atmosphere because I assume a lot of KC fans weren't leaving the next morning. They probably were booked a little bit longer. Yeah, San Francisco going back quick, John, was a little depressing.
Yeah, it was kind of sad. Like you would walk by the like 49ers fans and you could tell a few of them had been crying. So me and Maddie, Buffalo Food Sled, we were just waiting at our hotel and we're watching and we just see people like this, the 49ers fans. And we're like, we actually feel really bad for them because like the Kansas City fans are just assholes and they're all cheering, back to back. And we're just like, I just can't stand it anymore. But yeah, it was somber for the 49ers fans for sure.
And we can empathize. Let's face it, we've been there before. So, for better or worse, again, going into 2024, New Orleans is our year. But I want to talk Vegas. Obviously, like we said, you got the full week, you got the full experience. We're seeing pictures with celebs. We're seeing all kinds of awesome experiences. What's going to stick most with you this week? What maybe sticks out right now as like your happiest part of last week?
So we went to the Gronk beach party. And you know, the Gronkowskis actually live in Western New York. So that was a super, super fun event. They know how to party. That was great. But we actually, with Game Day Hospitality, were able to go to the Mick Ultra event. That was Saturday night. When I tell you, I have never seen so many famous people like Martha Stewart, Shaq, Olivia Culpo, T-Pain, everybody was golfing together, like just at Top Golf. And we were right there. Like we were just walking by these people. It was absolutely insane.
I saw that footage. I was like, John was probably jealous he couldn't get a club and start swinging himself. Although I think he got some putts in from the footage I saw.
Yeah. But it was crazy. Like I was not even, I don't really get starstruck, but I was just like, this is wild. Everybody who was anybody was in Vegas this week. I mean, we were just walking and it was NFL player after NFL player and just huge celebrities everywhere. It was awesome. I mean, it was a lot, but it was so cool.
Seriously, no, I can imagine sensory overload. Were there any, because Vegas tends to be like you can look to the left and someone's like funneling a beer on the sidewalk or something. Were there any, I know you saw a lot of celebrities, were there any crazy like fans or anything that you ran into throughout the week?
There was, well, one thing was that I saw fans from every single team, which was really super cool. Like I actually ran into a lot of Bills fans, but there was a bunch of Lions fans, there was Ravens fans, Packers fans. Last night after the Super Bowl, there was a guy in just all Patriots gear, and it kind of gave me a little bit of a Buffalo feel. He was just covered in head to toe mud, and you could tell this dude was blackout drunk. He was stumbling into the Flamingo, his white Patriots jacket, and he was just covered in mud. And I was like, that guy's not all right now. But yeah, that was a good memorable moment.
At first, I felt bad for him because you're like covered in mud. But if he is blackout drunk and he is in Vegas, I guess I don't have much to be jealous of over here in Buffalo for sure. So I know you were kind of doing stuff, and I know that there were some collab events at Game Day. Do you guys throw on a party with the Bella Twins out in Vegas?
Yes, yep. So we were out there, and yep, the Bella Twins were with us. They were super cool. We were at the Daylight Beach Club right at Mandalay Bay. It was awesome because the backdrop of the stage, after they sing the national anthem, all the fireworks are going off. You couldn't have asked for a better spot to hold a tailgate party by the stadium. We saw I think the what are they, the Jets,
The flyover?
yes, yeah. Went literally right over us. We were all screaming. We were like, this is so crazy. But the event was super fun. It was like half 49ers fans and half Chiefs fans. So they're just all around the thing, just screaming and yelling at each other. And it was really fun.
Speaking, I know you mentioned Top Golf. I was jealous you guys got to go to that live event. It looked like amazing weather on, what was that, Friday?
Yeah, it was super cool. I love golf. I've always been like big into like the PGA golf and everything, and it was cool. Phil Mickelson walked right by us. He was waving at us. Me and Maddie were running all over there. We met some really cool people there too. So it was a sensory overload, like you said. That was my first time ever being in Vegas. So I was like, is this even real life? And on top of not even sleeping, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Well, we got to catch you up on your sleep, but no, that's incredible. I mean, going to Vegas for Super Bowl week for your first time, that's like going to, like New Orleans, quick example for Mardi Gras. And then, for your first time. So definitely a crazy experience, I'm sure. But speaking of crazy experiences, we had a lot in the fall, Abigail, but what are we going to do in 2024? Bleached by Abigail Lee. How are we going to take it to new heights? What is the plan for right away? What do we got in the works? Give the people a little preview.
All right, so we're going to take a little bit of a breather for a hot second. We're
going to decompress. You'd be silly not to.
This year was a lot, man. I mean, we went through, like, when we after like before the KC game, I was like, we're done. We are absolutely done. So I'm going to decompress for a little bit. We're going to reconvene, start thinking about some new stuff. I am going to really be trying to start getting in contact with the NFL because Bleached by Abigail Lee needs to be licensed soon. So that is my
Ooh.
goal very soon. We want to do the view from the Ralph, but we want to do every single team. So that is our 2024 goal to start getting that in front of people. But for right now, we're going to take a little step back. We're going to try to focus on the Sabres, which I haven't really been paying too much attention. I don't even know how they're doing right now. No, okay. So maybe we'll reconvene for a little bit longer after that.
Yeah, enjoy that
yeah.
decompression for sure. Enjoy that nap.
Yeah.
No rush whatsoever.
Yeah.
While we got you here, obviously Abigail Nashwinter of Bleached by Abigail Lee on Trainwreck tonight, 3:29. So I know we're napping. I know we're recuperating on sleep. Obviously, we got Valentine's Day. I gotta ask this because I saw some content from you. You were pitching yourself for The Bachelor this past week?
Yeah, I put it out there. I was just like, maybe if does anybody want to nominate me? Because like I've been single for a hot minute. In Buffalo, we're kind of small. So I had hundreds of people saying they nominate me. So I don't know. I feel like we need a little bit of Bill's Mafia on The Bachelor, right?
Would you come out of the limo and jump through a table before you got to the guy?
100%. That's
Okay.
actually my idea. So I'm going to just jump through the table and they're gonna fall in love immediately.
I mean, who wouldn't with Abigail? Come on now. Real quick, because I'm kind of I got the reality TV bug since COVID. Are you into any other reality TV shows or anything?
No, not really. I've been diehard Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise, Bachelorette since I've been like 16 years old. So I'm too busy. I'm working all the time, but
That's fair.
That's my one vice is The Bachelor.
All right. Well, if you want to get viced up, dabble into Vanderpump Rules and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They're both cooking right now for sure.
All right, I'll go start them right now.
And speaking of cooking, you are on preheat. If you're not following Bleached by Abigail Lee on all platforms, 2024, you got to get with it. Get with the program. Speaking of program, Abigail, thanks for coming on and have a good rest of your day and have a good night now.